Hello there, once again I'm Flameless and welcome back to my stream. And while it's been a while, today I'm going to go back to doing Prehistoric Kingdom. So let's get started. Okay, so sorry again about the loading time, just needs a bit. So give me a moment, just going to let this load, hopefully it doesn't crash. Okay, sorry about that, just making sure I get everything set up right for this stream. So, welcome to Prehistoric Kingdom. This is a lot like the Jurassic Park games, and originally, when it was first being made all the way back in 2014, it actually looked a lot like them. They even got a cease and desist from Universal because they pretty much cribbed the Ceratosaurus model right off of them. But then they decided they wanted to focus more on realism, while some of the rest of the team split off to go more for the rule of cool. That game would become Mesozoic, and it died a few years ago. It's pretty much shovelware by this point. But the other guy, this team, meanwhile, you'll worked on it for a total of 9 more years, and, well, here we are. So, yeah. You can see this is our little dinosaur park, and ooh, these guys are getting big. These are actually Coelophysis. You've probably seen them if you've ever watched Walking with Dinosaurs. They're tiny little, well, I guess tiny's not appropriate, but they're small predatory dinosaurs that would have lived in my home state of Arizona, and right now we're going through their exhibit here. So, for those of you who have ever seen dinosaur documentaries, you might notice that if they go back to the earliest times of the dinosaurs, they like to show them as being living in places that are like almost barren deserts, with life still recovering from a big extinction event that happened before the dinosaurs took over, the Permo-Triassic extinction event, otherwise known as the Great Dying. But that really wasn't the case by the time these dinosaurs showed up. And it's especially obvious if you are familiar with my state and our fossils, because our state fossil is the Petrified Forest National Park, which was, again, a giant conifer forest that all got buried here. So, yeah, this is that kind of forest. This is, as the game calls it, coastal forest, like the redwood forest that you'll see in California. So these are the first dinosaurs we have in our park, these adorable little fluff balls, which are about the size of small dogs now. And this is the viewing area for our guests. Got some nice stuff here. So for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, sorry about the long difference in time between when we got this started and when I came back to this. I've just been wanting to do other stuff right now. Or, well, there's a lot of things going on to work. But now I'm back. So, yeah, so shown a couple of things already. So for Prehistoric Kingdom, if you want to get things started, you need a couple of different buildings. So, first off, you need nurseries to raise some of these animals. This lets you create them from here in the storage stuff. From there, you can input them into the park. But if you want more of them, you'll need to build dedicated depots for like load maize and stuff for getting more of them. So you need. Oh, one moment. So, yeah, you need this fossil depot. The fossil depot will let you go all over the world to look for more fossil sites. So, yeah, there's tons of them all around here. These different types of dig sites are based off of real fossil sites located all over the world, which contain all different kinds of creatures living in them and other things. So, they're divided on, like, one moment. Sorry about that. So, there's four different types of dig sites. It's as they mention here. So, show them off. The four different types of dig sites are as follows. There's these Mesozoic dig sites, represented by the theropod footprint, let you get dinosaurs and creatures from the same time as dinosaurs, though so far only dinosaurs. Well, mostly only dinosaurs. I think there's one exception. These ones with the paw print, meanwhile, represent Cenozoic ones, so everything after the time of the dinosaurs. This is where you get things like the saber-toothed cat and the woolly mammoth, all those creatures. Finally, for animals, there's Paleozoic dig sites. So far, the only one in this part of the world is the Arroyo Formation in Texas, though if you go up to Canada, you can also find, well, I'm not even sure where, yeah, this is Canada. You can also find the Fram Formation. And so, Paleozoic represents the very long time before dinosaurs took over the world. And finally, there are these dig sites that are represented with plants, and those are Neofauna ones. So those are for getting prehistoric plants that make your animals a lot more comfortable when they're back out in the wild. So from there, once you've got those animals, you can start breeding them inside of the animal nursery. Animals are divided between two types, the big ones and the vivarium ones, and I'll show that in a moment. Here's where you can do all the research. This is your finances and all that stuff. All your stuff for keeping track of animals, and all the stuff for keeping track of your staff. Sorry for everybody who's watching this recorded on YouTube. I just wanted to get back in and actually get a recap because I'm expecting a bigger audience now, so I want to make sure Oops, sorry. Just checking the stream. Make sure everything's good. So, yeah. So this is their exhibit. So as you can see, there's a little pond here because they had some trouble noticing the actual drinking pond here, and to make sure they didn't dehydrate. We got a little meat thing for them. And with a couple updates ago, they added in new feeding enrichment options where you can put special feeders to give them more things to eat from. So this is a tree stump filled with bugs. That millipede kind of unnerves me. And a fish feeder with, well, fish in there. I think the higher level ones will add in squid as well. Come on, you adorable little fluff balls, enjoy yourselves. Yeah, and finally here there's this is a vivarium. Vivariums are for keeping creatures that would be too small or just have too bizarre movement patterns to fit in well with other animals in the game. In this case, the main vivarium animals are the prehistoric turtles. This is Sahwanchelis from Madagascar. Look at this adorable frog-head turtle. Not sure what's keeping that rating down. So, okay then. Let's see. Oh yeah, so here's a gift shop or two. Food, restrooms. I really don't get why this is asking for that, because it's already got that 18, plenty of food, but whatever. Marilicia is... Ah, nice. Getting... Sometimes Nigel comes in to chat, but I guess we're not getting that right now. I'll explain more about that later. And I just realized I forgot to talk to you guys. Wow, so that's embarrassing. I had this whole thing on to talk to you guys, and I left all the conversation out, so... Stupid, stupid, stupid. One moment. Sorry, I just need to handle something for a few... Okay, sorry about that. I forgot how many plants this had. So then let's... And of course we don't have very good stuff for that, so... Definitely need to work on something for there, so... Okay, so we do have another animal we can work with, so... Let's add a gate quickly. Do some terraforming. So... Let's check our animals again, so maybe here. I am kind of annoyed how I can't properly clean this up. So, inside the fencing, I have to make do with all of this stuff here, but oh well. Such is the price we pay for accuracy. Let's check the group size. Oh, joy. drink from. And also a little bug feeder. Okay, we've got some of them being worked on there. Meanwhile, our Coelophysis are starting to mature. So, hopefully we can get some stuff going on there. No, these don't. I just need to choose some checking stuff there, so. Right, so. Okay, so I think I showed you the research stuff, so quick stuff for that now. Research for this game includes things like being able to make animals that are male, otherwise they're all female, just like Jurassic Park. These guys are ready, so let's give them all the new home. Chono.
If we keep these animals well fed, we'll be less likely to run from issues down the line. Literally.
Sorry, forgot again. Turn this down. So, that man you just saw in the little box at the top of the screen, that's the real-life wildlife presenter Nigel Marvin, who the Prehistoric Kingdom team was able to convince to support them.
Now this little fella is a Psittacosaurus. Just like other ceratopsians, Psittacosaurus is a herbivore, but its sharp beak and simple jaws are better suited to tough plant material such as nuts or seed. A word of advice though, be wary of that beak. They're a little nippy.
Okay, yeah, so as I mentioned already, that's Nigel Marvin. He's the guy who does a ton of wildlife presentation stuff, especially dinosaur things. You probably know him from Shark Week, or if you're a fan of paleontology, he's worked with Impossible Pictures. He did Chased by Dinosaurs, Sea Monsters, and perhaps most famously for Prehistoric Kingdom, Prehistoric Park. So, as you can see, yeah, these animals are clearly not happy here, so we need to give them their stuff to enjoy. Yeah, so, as you can see, they're quite happy now. Well, happier now. And we're going to eventually need to give them some prehistoric plants, but this little mix of desert things, I recognize these Palo Verde trees, and actually I'm not sure they're Palo Verde or Joshua trees, and the different types of cacti will keep them satisfied for now. So, yeah, Psittacosaurus is... Diet-wise, these things eat primarily a mix of, well, plants and insects. So speaking of which, let's put an insect log here. A stump doesn't really make as much sense versus a log, though. So, yeah. This thing, once it's stocked, will give them something more natural to look at for food. So, yeah, you can see there's 3 different types of things you can stock this with. Regular plants, insects, or fruit. Meanwhile, there's fake carcass feeders and fake fish feeders for, well, meat and fish. So yeah, that's clearly helping us get in more revenue because people are a lot more interested now in those animals. So Psittacosaurus. Okay, something to explain for the game. So each dinosaur in this game has 3 different types of skins. In animals like Coelophysis, they'll randomly be given skins until you research an upgrade that lets you decide what skin each animal gets. But with Psittacosaurus, it's 3 different skins that actually represent different species or subspecies. Okay, actually it's just species. So the animals we're looking at right here are all Psittacosaurus mongoliensis, the type species from Mongolia. Same area as Velociraptor. Well, same country as Velociraptor and Protoceratops, which are also in this game, but not the same type. Nowhere near the same time. Speaking of which, time to invest in some research. Let me check something here. Arid. Modern. Stone Age. Tropical. Is there anything here that's... Wait, what am I doing? I guess there is none for that. Weird. Yeah, so Psittacosaurus, as you can see here, like the first plant eaters I've got. Sahoncheles is more of a bug or fish eater. So, watch the adorable little creatures play. Okay, so we got the exhibit set up. We got something for people to coo over for them. Let's expand this path outwards a bit so we have more room to build other things of importance here. So people are probably gonna want something to eat here, so I'm gonna do something new for those of you who are just getting on, and I'm gonna make a... This is the big thing that Prehistoric Kingdom went with, so it wouldn't be too similar to Jurassic World Evolution, at least into the most recent games. It lets you actually build your own, build your own structures. So let's start with this here. No, wait. Basic kiosk for nutrition. No, let's put the other stuff down. So, first off, we'll need... Pause this. Actually, concrete works best. Alright, let's go back and start doing this again. So, yeah, maybe not the best fit, but actually, yeah, that looks nice. So we've got that there. Now let's add in another wall, but oh, I see. Trial and error. Good, it's about ground level now, so now comes the annoying part, adding a door in. Yeah, this is the annoying thing. These doors just won't. But yeah, big problem with this game. There's not really anything allowing doors to just connect it. Ah, you might have noticed I do not really like how these doors work here. Delete that one just because. Okay, that looks semi-passable, though kind of not really fitting with there, but what gives? So yeah, we got that. Let's put some other stuff there. So. Of course, that makes so much more sense now. Yeah, so perhaps a little bit too close, but that looks better. And now, last but not least, and we're good. So yeah, time to call in the staff. So yeah, I'm pretty sure for some of you people who are already watching this, you might have already seen me working on this, but I just again wanted to show some things for those of you just joining us, relatively speaking. So yeah, there's 4 different options for what the There's 4 different options for what food kiosks can be themed after. So there's Bronto Burgers, T-Rex Cafe Stockback. Sorry. Yeah, so that's T-Rex Cafe, Tiny's Grill thing. Guess we'll see what's going wrong there. So yeah, I got cashier coming in to do this stuff. Okay, yeah, so we just need supplies, and then that thing will be good for sale. So yeah, this is Prehistoric Kingdom's big thing. You have, well, obviously you've got people who can meat there, and yeah, we're making a nice profit now, so guess adding some animals definitely did a good job. Looks like the Satacos are happy. Hail the little tacos, and yeah, that's a big fan nickname for Setacosaurus amongst the team. So, right now, I'm just gonna wait a little bit, get some money up, and maybe do some more research. So, I think that's a good thing to research. So, we've got two big animal exhibits on different ecosystems, even though technically speaking, these creatures could actually live in the same kinds of exhibits. They got the same types of environmental preferences and whatnot. They both prefer deserts and coastal forests. Coelophysis is obviously a carnivore versus Psittacosaurus being an herbivore. And this exhibit is pretty bare of, relatively speaking, this is an arid one versus this being a more wet one. There's one more thing I want to get set up for this, though. So those are actually nests because the most recent update to the game lets you raise your own baby dinosaurs. Something like that was actually, I think, 2 updates ago. The update before the last one that lets you raise little baby dinosaurs, like they planned for Jurassic Park, except for these ones, it's a lot more dynamic, and instead of the nests being just something that the animals can go into, visit, and after a while the babies come out, these animals will build their own nests and lay their own eggs and care for them, have babies. Come on, little tacos. So yeah, the babies will in turn... Okay. Sorry, just checking one more thing for the stream. And there, I'm just trying to share some things with the PK communities. So... Awesome. Look, good news is that my stream hasn't crashed yet, so... Yeah, well, that's good at least. So... Yeah, so... sorry. Got distracted there, so... Yeah, so these guys are Psittacosaurus, and so... Back on topic. So, a couple days ago, they dropped the February 2026 Dev Diary for Prehistoric Kingdom, where they announced some of the upcoming changes. The big things that we finally got looks at the models for Stegosaurus. So, the next update will be adding in 8 new species to the game. We know that Allosaurus will be coming in there, as well as Stegosaurus. Not sure on the last one yet. Well, okay, it's been revealed in Patreon, but I'm not telling you guys, just because it's kind of a thing there. but they confirmed that there will be 4 carnivores and 2 species. Sorry, 4 herbivores. I think 2 herbivores and 2 frugivores, which are by extinction herbivores. The 4 species that, for the carnivores, we're pretty sure that the 4 species are all varieties of Allosaurus, since there's 4 valid species right now. Allosaurus fragilis, the type species, Allosaurus jimetseni, which is a bit earlier. This is the one Big Al comes from. By the way, Big Al's actually a girl, so weird. The third one is going to be Allosaurus europaeus. While I'm not sure if it's been explicitly mentioned, the devs have been pretty clear that the 4th one will be Allosaurus anax, which used to be Saurophagnax until last year they decided that that thing was a chimera of Allosaurus and sauropod fossils. So, yeah, I think that's pretty kind of more like an open secret, if it was a secret at all at this point. And I still find those bugs a little unnerving. So, back on topic. But here, these. So, they've already revealed the models for Stegosaurus. Stegosaurus stenops looks pretty classic design, while Stegosaurus ungulatus, I'm pretty sure that the one skin they showed off so far looks a lot like Godzilla. Gray body, skewed, plates that turn a little blue at the tips. That seems about right, doesn't it? Yeah, so those guys are coming next month. The week before that, they also, the diary before that, the one for January, they also confirmed that we're going to be seeing sorry, sinuses. They also confirmed that we'll be getting baryonyx in the update after that, update 18, which will bring over aquatic stuff. So, Prehistoric Kingdom was originally going to have 20 updates before it officially left early access, but due to the babies being extremely well received, they cannibalized most of the original update 19 and moved it up to the next update, which was update 16. So, update 19 will be the final one before it leaves early access. So from speculation, they released a blurred Discord list a couple years ago to show what the rest of the animals they planned for each of the updates were. Now, most of them are as we know them. Why is this thing still saying it's low? On the stuff here, why? Yeah, I got other things to rant over. I'll just decide on that later. So, yeah. Oh yeah, that's annoying, but... Okay, so some quick things here. So, I think they confirmed this in the January one, but... So, Prehistoric Kingdom staff will work until they need to go on break, and then they'll just wander around the park. They've shown for the January devlog that they're not going to be just wandering around while they're going to take a page from Planet Zoo and start adding in staff rooms that you need to build so that those guys can take breaks, go there and just blow off steam between shifts. So you'll need to make sure you have adequate staff to handle everything while the other guys are out. You can also set which times they're working there, modify training and whatnot. Sorry. Yeah, so anyways, I'm going to show you some more of the creatures we got here. So I'm going to wait a bit before adding new creatures, especially so we can build up money. So here's the creatures we have so far. First off, Coelophysis, the adorable little fluff balls right now that grow into things like this. The classic early predatory dinosaur. These guys live 9 years. Living groups like this. They're carnivores. These are like the starter dinosaurs you can get. This is Diictodon, a tiny little Dicynodon. If you've seen Walking with Monsters, you'll recognize it, though didn't quite get everything right. The big thing with Diictodon is it's a Dicynodon, the famous like tusked relatives of mammals, and the big thing with those guys with Diictodon specifically is that unlike other Dicynodons, they had some sexual dimorphism. Only the males had the tusks, so that both types having it in this game is kind of wrong. I don't get why they meat ears, but weird. This is Diplocalus, the big boomerang-headed stem amphibian. You've probably seen pictures of them sometimes. These guys are from here in North America. There's one species from Africa, but most of them are believed to come from here in the United States. This is the famous four-winged dinosaur Microraptor. We actually know them from fossils that are so well preserved that you can see the feathers, and because of how feathers retain their color, we can actually see what color they were, because we can see the parts of their cells in their feathers which determine color, and the shaping determines what the specific color is. So these guys were iridescent black, as you just saw. Psittacosaurus here, Sahonacheles are turtles, hailed little turtle. And finally, this is Cynotherium, a prehistoric unicorn rhino. Yes, that's actually what they're called. So, this is what a baby one looks like versus an adult. And this is the smaller version of the Elasmotherium, which if you've seen Prehistoric Park or Prehistoric Planet, you'll know what I'm talking about. And this game has both giant horned ones and ones with a smaller bose. I still don't... this is just so annoying that I can't address anything there. Yeah. Not the most detailed with human character models, but compared to Plant Zoo, these have some enormous leaps and bounds. Yep, they got a long ways to go, but they're hurting right now, as you can see. The code works for those things. So watch them run around while this guy, I'm guessing he's... Well, he's not the only guy there, but he's one of two. So these guys will drink from water stuff there. Ah, crap, I think my internet died in for a moment, so let me get back onto the stream. I'll keep trying on this, but... well, yeah, that could take a little bit. So... sorry about that. Part of the reason I'm recording this is just so that I can upload it here without any holes in the stream, because that's annoying for everybody who's watching it on YouTube to see the holes in there. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. So let me just show you guys some more of the research options here. So for research stuff, by default, you have the options to make these little vivariums to hold creatures in, which come in small and box to start with, but you can upgrade all the way to medium and large. After this, you can upgrade them to increase the capacity of how much stuff they have in there, and from there you can do other things like provide them vitamins, steroids, mutagens, mating boosters, mating suppressors, and upgrade those as you need fit. So mutagens are things like albinism, unique skin patterns, being bigger or smaller than normal, etc. Meanwhile, you can introduce other upgrades that will increase the size of what kind of nursery sizes you can get, and what kind of upgrades you'll be able to afford as well. I feel like I'm missing something because I can't tell where the bigger ones get, but yeah, okay. Whatever. But yeah, so this is the basic structural. So from the research thing, these are the basic structural kits. These let you design things like restrooms, rooms, and let me check actually what else there is there, because I didn't recognize that fourth one. So oh yeah, tickets. What? No wait. Vending machines. That's what it was. So the 4 different things you can build to start with are bathrooms, food, nutrition kiosks, so that's foodstuffs, shopping, and vending machines. So you can also build visitor entrances and ticket booths. You'll need those for other things. And these are prefabricated stuff if you don't want to take the time to make your own things, but, well, there's a reason this game has integrated Steam Workshop support. Sorry, I had to swallow something there, so, yeah, so, those things like bin, finding stuff for the trash bins and other things, so, anyway. There's power stuff here, but power doesn't actually do anything anymore because the devs have found it's not really helping out with how they want things to go, so they're going to be phasing that out over time. So originally you could just use batteries and diesel generators, but you'd eventually upgrade to using solar panels, wind turbines, and finally geothermal plants. Kind of a bit miffed those are going the way of the dodo. So I just like the challenge, as it were. Yeah, so here's the view. Yeah, so okay. Yeah, so these are basic restrooms, kiosks for all kinds and sorts. This is a normal gift shop thing. There's also an option just for selling shirts and other things. Yeah. You know, gifts, and then there's a Pato apparel. So here's the Paleopedia, which shows all the dinosaurs you can have in the game. They'll also mark various different things, including what time of the year they breed, what their breeding system is, how fertile they are, which one has the parent, which parent cares for them. If you noticed how they don't really seem to go to how some of them will switch out to not show these details, that's because the animal we're looking at doesn't have the ability to have offspring. It's usually meaning that's a vivarium creature. Yeah, so this is T-Rex's stuff here, so yeah, males will mate with a lot of different females, but both parents will take care of the babies. So how cute. Yeah, my scientists are still killing me. So, okay, so we've got the dense forest here, desert here. I'm probably going to be calling it soon, but the plan afterwards is to set up a grassland exhibit for those Cynotherium. So yeah, those are grassland animals. I need to get a drink, so one moment. And I'm back. So, yeah, so these represent all different kinds of paleoflora here. So, wetlands, coastal, grassland, wetland, Tropical. More coastal. More coastal. Okay, let's just solve this problem. I feel really dumb right now. Let's get 2 teams working on this. So yeah, we'll be getting this. So for a quick overview of how plants work, prehistoric animals, specifically dinosaurs, want Mesozoic plants, especially since grass wasn't a big thing when they were around. We're pretty sure that grass did show up by the time of the last of the dinosaurs, but it was restricted to India from what we know from exact evidence. From indirect evidence, like say, looking at dinosaur teeth wear patterns, it was actually pretty widespread. And getting global in the Middle Cretaceous period, so yeah, grass was a lot more common than we give it credit for. Sorry. So, guess we're hitting the limits right now for how much we can get out of this. So, speaking of which, I see. Wow, that's a lot of... That makes them feel better. So, yeah, those prehistoric plants aren't just for show there. These animals can eat them if they want to, and while it won't necessarily provide them with nutrition unless you're playing in sandbox mode and toggle that, it will give them a happiness bonus. Ooh, nice. So these guys will love it if they have some of those there. They're flocking. How cute. Also, that being said, I think they should get something more private to have a home in. Trying to swallow well when I don't have anything to keep thirst down, so... I think this should do well for them. Put it back somewhere here where it doesn't interfere too much. This will give them a nice little place to... Let's see if I overdid it.
Thanks to a number of recent findings, we were able to restore this creature to a high degree of genetic accuracy, right down to the quills and coloration in some of its species.
Must have been part of this thing. So yeah, animals that live... Animals will like it better if they have some hay beds to sleep on. So make sure to give those to them. So yeah. I just improvised these little guys to have a little sleeping thicket here for the Coelophysis. Let's add a little bit more of a yeah. Now we have 5 little beds for these guys to all sleep in together. So 2 in here and 3 out in there. So let's see. I've shown you all around here, shown you these guys, shown you this little inhabitant thing, so yeah, let's put another donation bin here just so people can put more money into us if they want. There's going to be other options there, so I'm kind of hoping we eventually get that long-teased maintenance thing. Not maintenance, the long-teased information desk, just so that we can give them higher education stuff, because otherwise there's not much way to tell them about these critters. Let me check something first, though. This thing will tell a bit about the animals that are here at the park right now. That's one for there. And last but not least, let's put this one right here. I'm aware it's kind of in the prime viewing thing, but yeah. I'm not even sure what that's supposed to say there, but at least it lets you see where these animals lived at the time on Earth. So, aww, he's sleeping. Whoops. So that's Sauron. Let's check the... So the Coelophysis are called Sinta, Penny, Sora, Inteus, Irvin, Tahoma, Leo, Nanook, and Yasho, while the Pterosaurus are known